We began the Artists in the Park program back in 2003. So we bring in our 5 or 6 artists to Sheep Creek in Ivvavik National Park for 10 days. Natural areas, national parks, there's a lot of science that goes on. We have archaeologists working there, we have biologists working there, we have people studying fish, and so there are a lot of scientific papers come out of the park by which you could learn about the park, but for most people that sort of information is not that accessible. We felt that art provides something back to people that they can understand and relate to on a much more emotional level. So the artist's interpretation of being in a place like Ivvavik is something that can be shown to people, that can be presented to people far away from the park, and people will get, I think, a much more emotional and personal impression of what it's like to be in a place like that. The national park, Ivvavik, is about 10,000 square kilometers in size, slightly smaller than that, and it's located on it's actually the westernmost corner of Canada. It's right on the boundary with Alaska. And the park itself has a long, long history of human use. We know that people have been in that area for at least 9,000 years. So it's it has a fantastic story to tell about how people use this area and about their dependence and their relationship with the animals that use the area as well. Selecting the artists for Artists in the Park is always, it's kind of scary. So you have a number of applications, and so they're spread out on the table in front of you, and it's kind of, well, who are we going to pick? Who are we going to give this opportunity to?
That's what I was looking forward to take a group of people and of artists and isolate them a little bit.
I really wanted to come up to this part of the world to capture this kind of imagery, and so this is a great opportunity.
Very excited to be accepted into the program. I really didn't know what to expect.
I think I'm the only one out of my friends who really is artsy. I've never really talked to other artists before.
We want to put together a group that we feel can learn from each other. So we have a variety of media and try to have a variety of kind of life experiences as well.
Here we are at Sheep Creek, Ivvavik Park. This is where we all sleep. These are our tents. I think Louisa has breakfast ready at 7. Yeah. I usually get up about 9 and maybe get some water, hang out and have a coffee, and then paint for a while. We're going to our art studio right here. This is where we work. This is Alan and his workspace.
My workspace.
Yeah. And usually Terry sits here, but Terry's at Sheep Slut. And this is Carolyn's area. There's the kitchen and the dining area. This is the kitchen house. This is where we eat. This is our lovely cook, Louisa. And this is Annie from Polytech. This is where we come get coffee and tea, lunch and dinner.
I didn't know what to expect of the camp. I didn't know what to expect of the other people. So everything was a bit of a surprise, and like I said, it's been an amazing experience. The scenery is breathtaking, but it's way more than that. I mean, sometimes we work in the area that, we've nicknamed the studio, and we're all working side by side, and there can be like long periods of silence where we're all in our own little world, thinking about our work or doing our work, and then there's other times where we're totally interacting and whether it's joking around or looking at each other's work, and I don't know, giving suggestions. And anyway, it's been, yeah, a great experience that way.
Yeah. You told me to take a break.
Stop, take a break, come
Yeah.
back.
But it's not just about looking at something and putting it down on in your art form. It's, you know, it's the hiking. It's like trying to portray that feeling that we all got when we were hiking across the mountain ranges, like from top to top to top.
I'm contemplating today's project. I'm thinking about yesterday and our hike and the impact that had on me, and I'm trying to work on a piece that leaves the imprint of my hiking boot on the landscape that we hiked through yesterday. There were some rocks that were the brightest purple and metallic, like a bluey green, and they almost didn't look real in the landscape. And so I'm trying to find something that I have to pass that image along. I have to work in layers. So first I'll make the rocks and then I'll work on the background while the rocks are drying.
How does felting work?
It's each strand of wool has little barbs that stick out, and as you agitate them with the water and the soap, they mingle together, and once they're together and dry, they don't come apart, and they create a very strong fiber. Yeah, I've been sewing for years and quilting for about 7 years now. But I've just started felting with the hope that I can incorporate felt work into my quilt making. Is my goal. I like that it's really hands-on. I love the way they feel. I love the three-dimensional effect of like any sort of finished product, any sort of textile art. I like the way that it expresses what you're trying to say.
I'm self-taught. I just picked up a pencil and started sketching. I've gotten a lot better since I first started. Someone had given me a set of water paint, and then from water paint I went to acrylic, and here we are. I do it in my spare time. It's just something that I do that I enjoy. This is the British Mountains across the creek there as a set. I just sat sitting on the deck here. And this one is the old shoe that was from a pile of stuff that people have found around the park. Like there was a paddle and a kayak, an old trap, an old washboard, and I chose the shoe. And this is a flower called the River Beauty that I changed into a butterfly. It's just a purple flower that beds on the riverbank. I mostly paint. I was painting skies and flowers that I've seen or flowers that I liked. Normally I pour and paint, like just grab the colors that I want and pour it on and paint. But since I've been here, I've been sketching. We've had really warm weather. It's awesome to paint outside. You can just sit down and sketch, and then I sketch, and then I go sketch it onto the canvas, and then I paint it on the canvas. Yeah, this is the one that I'm doing a canvas on right now. It's really good. There's a couple of people helping me out, learning some new techniques. This is the first time working in a group of other artists. I like looking at art, just looking at other people's style. Just ask questions and what do you think about this and how would this look? I like it. And it's cool because we get to go hiking and sketch and then go back and work on the platform. I was out hiking in my moccasins. And this one is my moccasins, and I'm going to draw the sand and a pile of rocks. It's a different approach. I was just doing straight colors. Alan had showed me how I can make it more realistic.
It took a few days for me, so it was a little uncomfortable with strangers. Yeah, took a while. But the companionship's been really good. Seeing how other people work, what they do, how they do what they do, how they think about their work and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, I spent most of my life in a studio, so to interact with other artists and see how they do what they do it's very refreshing.
And we'll walk across the creek here and then kind of angle up maybe towards that saddle so we can avoid dropping and climbing too much at the next creek. Somewhere over there we'll cross anyways and then head over to that big wide meadow. And I know that on the other side of that meadow there's a magnificent view northwards along the firth.
You know, I'm not a landscape painter. I find it very difficult to paint in the open like this. I'm a studio painter, so I take my images back and I think through my work in the studio. I want my viewer to be drawn into my paintings, and it's more than just a landscape. And there's some activity going on in that landscape, and I want the viewer to be drawn in and to be excited by what they see, and to question it. So I have there's three things I need when I think through a painting. I need to have a powerful landscape. Right, this is what I'm here for. I'm getting images of powerful landscapes. Like I've just seen a beautiful scene right now, which I think I have to try and capture. And then once I get back home, I get them all on my computer and I go through them carefully, and then I start to decide what my next painting is going to be. But it's an amazing program, really it is, and it's a very spiritual experience. I mean, it's a very powerful landscape. You can't help but be moved by it. Yeah, can't wait to get back home and get started and just look through my images. So much to do. I'm going to be kept busy for months now.
I'm participating in making marks that I would not normally make all on my own. It's basically just taking a rubbing between using a pencil or charcoal or something that will leave a mark, and it's the actual impression of what's underneath the paper that's coming through. So all the contours, all the lines and the different shapes show up. It's really old. It's probably the first thing I did as a child, but I haven't done it since then. It's I think I know where it came from. I think it came from my father. Remember him showing me, when I was very, very young, and it seemed like magic. He took something like a silver dollar or a 50-cent coin, put it underneath paper, and rubbed it lightly with a pencil. And the picture of the Queen came through, and I thought that was magic. So it might be nice to see something like a detailed drawing of a stone sitting in front of one of these things. It's what I live for, is, you know, to have lunch and then sit around and relax and talk and then do art and then go out and do something, you know, some exercise or something. Go for a walk, come back and do some more art, and everybody's enjoying the same experience. And it's treated as something that's respected. It's not like people thinking they must go to work afterwards and that they've been playing around and now it's time to get serious. You know, this is taken as a serious component. I guess it's respected.
How long is that?
It's a subtle footprint in the landscape.
Wow, what does this have to change from this morning?
This, I didn't like the color originally, so I went back to working with grays. So this is the shale that we were hiking on yesterday. I felted a piece like this and then I actually cut the shapes out and laid them on another layer of felt and then worked it all together. We'll see. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, right in the middle of the little cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
En ik hou ook. Als ik zoek. I like to show animals. Animals is my favorite. Nahostunin sa vaksaning nakuha. Hangwaday man lang siya so. Mehok sa nakininga suta. Ingilangan ko niya palok gangap takin naksuta pukuluk suta. Suil lamin mehok sa nikpaktuan. Pukuk suda mehok sa tingna. Hangwaday mapukun pukang nayak to. Mehok sa nik aglantuk tunik kami ni. Dahil maniboy hangwad. Digilay kawulun kang duktum kamngit. Inuk sa iba kaming man duktunik. Nanok si kumi kupalik na siyang nerto. Dat kharing ni. Kiyoya liklam na sanara. Mehokta kami kiyoluk. Asin ay paano ba amak kodlo akis gyalilo amak kodukwad sidamat umin mang nektod tarayan na lugasin dat pikot ko udak kayot takun na kasi sama TV ni dat panip tao ba kogyuk akis gyalilo mehoktad ka naman siya nibisak sulit picture siyang nang magigid mehoktad ka picture yun guide unap tao magigiyalo guminmag unan tukto na lukto naut siya ni ko ba kulilik taon naut siya ko akong mimadana naut siya laksok sulit kung yung tao tamnan na kanyak tuwak nakiminig tuktumasin ko agtariyan niya lugtago kami kakinaksuik pang naong ubaw nakibalug tariyan niya lug mikiyog nakiksamingnik tayo to alugyak unak Go ahead, Dr. Dan. Apasok pala na masibidri mo nung kakong ito ma. Dayo dalo kaya kisulak pala ako sumay.
I didn't actually think I was going to paint at all when I came. That wasn't the result I expected. So it's been good. The art in the park has helped me just to feel comfortable working in the environment and sort of feel comfortable painting under these conditions. And I mean, it's not easy, but it's kind of fun. And I still feel more comfortable in the studio, and this is more just a sketch for me. But nevertheless, here I am painting and I'm enjoying it.
It's the Arts Gala, our grand debut, vernissage at Sheep Creek.
But I think it's completely exceeded our expectations. It's gone much further than we ever thought it would go, and much more art has come out of it than we ever thought. Every artist that's come has contributed more, I think, than we ever expected that they would. This year, 2007, went extraordinarily well. So I think it was a very productive time, and the weather certainly helped, but we also had a very hard-working bunch of artists, which we have had every year. It's always amazing that, and been very gratifying to see that people come out there and really make the most of that opportunity.
It is the best one of the week.
There's two categories of things I'm taking. I mean, I'm taking the experience of the park, and then the other thing that I'm taking away is this experience that I've had interacting with other people who enjoy the same things that I do, and artists, and look at the world in the same kind of way, and getting some of the, I guess, the experience of the other artists, you know, information that they've passed on to me, or even just confirming my own feelings, or talking about the journey that I'm taking as an artist, and someone else to say, yep, I've been there too.
Champagne, mimosa. Sir?
Thank you.
Thank you. Shall we toast? Seriously, this has been an amazing experience for me. Like, I can't tell you. So, cheers. I'm gonna get off.
Cheers, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers to you all.